All right, so we have now gone live, and I see the live chat is already very lively here in the side here, having all kinds of jokes being made at the moment in the live chat. So that's good. We're off to a good start. Welcome to today's stream here with me, Peter Sweden, and we have Red Pill Phil with us today as well. It's been a while since we had these videos, but finally we've gone back to doing them. I had a lot of stuff to do here in Norway, so it's great to have you back, Phil.
It's great to be back, mate. It has been a while. We've both been doing our own little ventures, and it's brilliant. And I'd like to say a big hi to all your subscribers that are watching at the moment.
Excellent. Yeah, no, I've seen there's been lots of stuff happening in the UK while I've been over here in wintry Norway. You've been going to different marches and so on has been happening. We talked about the Tommy Robinson book signing last. That was the last video we managed to do. Has there been any more marches or anything happening in the UK since then that you can tell us about?
Yeah. The last one I attended was in Edinburgh. It was the Veterans Against Terrorism. It was a lovely setting. Edinburgh's a beautiful historic town. You couldn't have picked a kind of better. It's got a very militaristic kind of background. So I don't know whether that was why they chose it. The numbers wasn't great, but I think the message was brilliant. You did get your opposition there in small numbers, but I don't think they posed too many problems. However, as ever, when I've gone to marches, I always find the same thing. I'm finding really nice people, talking to people I find they're just like me in their ideals. They're not Nazi in the way of thinking, not extremist in the way of thinking. And particularly with the message that the vets were sending out, it's utterly clean, quite pinpointed, nothing against racism. They just want to target against terrorism, really. So all in all, it was a good event, without a doubt.
Excellent, yeah. Yeah, no, I wasn't there, so I haven't been able to see much, but you've been there, so that's good to get update there. And I think you done loads of videos on your channel as well about it. So
Right,
everyone go and check out Phil's channel too. You can search Red Pill Phil. I'll leave a link as well so you can find your channel. So make sure to subscribe to Phil as well. It's been your channel has been growing quite quickly. I've seen you got several thousand subscribers now.
Yes, it is. It's growing really well. Considering I'm not as active as I should be. I am still. This is very much a part-time thing. I have got a job and a family to kind of look after. So, my priorities have been split over the past few months. I'm trying to divide myself, juggle the balls, as it were. But I'm enjoying myself. So I am totally getting engrossed in it. I think next year is going to be a bigger year. I'm going to attend more marches and just get really more into it, because what I've seen this year has given me more encouragement to get involved. So yeah, I can't wait. I think the next march for the veterans is going to be in Newcastle in February, which is February the 17th, if my memory serves me right. So I think that's the first time I'm going to be stretching out now. It's quite cold this time of year, so I'm not sure whether there's too many.
Not as cold as here.
Oh no, mate! I know. I will agree there. Yeah, you've got the points on that one.
There's actually I actually saw the weather forecast. It's going to be something like -17 here in a couple of days. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be really fun.
Wow! Okay, yeah, okay. I won't class that as fun, but.
I think we're losing Phil here. We cannot hear Phil. His interconnection seems to be glitching up. Are you still there, Phil? No, I think we lost Phil. We cannot hear Phil at all. Can anyone in the stream hear Phil, or have we lost him? Or is it just me that's disappeared from the stream? No? I think we lost Phil. I can see something.
Right, it says your connection is experiencing difficulties. So Mr. George Soros is back again.
We got Phil back now, I see.
Yep.
I can see you now, but your picture quality is a lot worse. You had lots of picture quality before.
It just flashed up here, something wrong with the connection or something, so I don't know what's gone on there. I think there's a little spike in the system, Peter.
Did you get hacked by NSA or something?
I think so, mate. Yes, I think that's what's going on. I have to be very careful. We might have to change location pretty quickly.
Well, you're back at least, but with not as good image quality, I hope we can do with that.
Right. Hopefully it'll come back.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you upgrade. Yeah, I think you had a better internet now than before, but something happened there at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's been a bit cold here. I don't know if you've seen the videos. I've had lots of winter snow and everything around here. It's loads of snow outside at the moment.
Okay.
I actually got some new videos coming out tonight where actually one of the topics I want to be talking about later today about what's happening in Sweden with the synagogue bombings. I'm actually doing a separate video on that topic as well. But I got some beautiful Norwegian scenery in the background there with that, some new scenery. So
wow.
Yeah, maybe we should get into the topics today then.
Yeah, let's go
I want to sort out. I was seeing in the UK, they've been reporting, Breitbart and RT has been reporting that the police in London are going to classify misogyny as hate crime. So basically, if you look at a woman wrongly on the street, or if you disagree with a woman, I guess, or if you whistle at her or something, the police will now be able to arrest you for hate crime in London for that. Now, they have already been doing this in other places in the UK, in certain counties, including North Yorkshire, where I used to live before I moved to Norway. It's misogyny is a hate crime. So, yeah, that's kind of, and the thing that worried me the most was actually one police officer said that they wanted to be tackling this behavior before it happened. So was this some kind of Minority Report stuff here?
I was just thinking the same thing. Thought police, yeah, pre-crime.
Yeah, so you haven't committed any crime, but we think you're going to be a misogynist. You're going to be sexist against this lady here, so we're now going to arrest you. like what?
I know, it's absolutely silly. I mean, the birds and the bees, men and women, is something that's gone on for thousands of years. I mean, the hypocritical thing for me, Peter, is in the media, in films and in music, they build women up as sexual symbols. Okay, and with peer pressure, you've got women that feel the need to kind of dress a certain way in order to look a certain way. And, I haven't got any problem with that. But at the same time, when you do them sort of things, then it's understandable you are going to get attention from the opposite sex. There's going to be an attraction there. So if there is an attraction, then how can you put that down as being misogynistic when in reality you've presented that to, I mean, what do? Put women in potato sacks and make them look as ugly as possible in order to stop this misogyny that's going on? You can't have it both ways. You can't dress women up like that, but then not expect the opposite sex to react to that. Having said that, I will say that men should know and have dignity and, and be honourable. There's certain ways that you should act and react to a lady. So
I think it's an interesting point there. I think, obviously some men are behaving like douchebags towards women, but also the society today is quite degenerate, and they have left the traditional way of life. As if you look before, back 100 years ago in the Victorian era, for example, women were all dressed with, they weren't in a potato sack, they had beautiful clothes, much nicer than the clothes we have today, but they've also dressed properly, so people wouldn't be aroused, if you will. So men wouldn't be tempted to be aroused in that kind of way. So they're properly dressed, but they're still beautiful, much more beautiful than the clothes today. They weren't like a burqa or anything like that. So I think that is the way to go, if you ask my opinion.
You go to any town centre on a Friday, Saturday night, and you look at some of the women, the way they're dressed. Now, I'm not saying it's their fault, because, everyone's got the right to present themselves the way they want. But then have they got the right to say he's being a misogynist? And they're walking around, with the G-string kind of visible and, cleavage all over the place. It's a hypocritical thing. You can't have it both ways.
That's the thing I find funny about England. I haven't seen so much of it in Sweden and Norway, to be honest. Especially in Norway, much more traditional than in the UK. But no, I've been out in, you go to Newcastle or something, and you go out there, and it's Saturday night, and you see all these women, like they have like their knickers out, and they're like, everything is just like hanging out. The
Yeah.
buttons hang out, the breasts hang out, everything is just out there.
Yeah.
Boom. Like they have nothing on. I mean, it's just insane. I mean,
there is a, with the younger generation, I'm not saying all of them because that would be wrong to say that, but there's programs that you can watch, and the first thing they'll do when you've got a TV crew that's maybe filming a town centre or filming abroad, the first thing that a lot of women do, and as in a lot of men, they've had too much to drink, and they're showing this, and they're doing moons and this, that, and the other. So if you're going to flash yourself and you're going to present yourself in that way, I'm not saying you should expect it and you should get it, but at the same time, you can't really condemn anyone for doing a wolf whistle or this, that, and the other. I mean, I think I watched one article where it was regarding that wolf whistles is going to be regarded as misogynistic. Now, to me, my wife often, within 10 minutes of leaving the house, she looks a certain way. She'll phone me back and she'll go, oh, my word, I had 3 or 4 guys in a van do a wolf whistle at me or bib the horn and kind of stick their head round and whatnot. It's not the way I would carry on as a gentleman by any means. But at the same time, what are they doing? They're not doing anything that's untoward other than they're recognizing that they are attracted to what they are actually seeing, which has gone back thousands of years. So, it's a difficult one. And I think you can't really slam down as people being misogynistic without addressing that point as well. So, yeah, I think we should bring back Victorian dress sense. And then, if you want to bring misogyny laws in, then okay, let's have it.
Let's do it like this. We bring back traditional Victorian dresses and bring back the traditional Victorian punishments as well for rapists. I read about I think it was in I'm not sure which country this was, but it was some European or Western country. They caught a man raping a woman. And they took they caught him doing in the act. So the guys in the local village, they took the guy, they took him out in the forest. They got some nails and hammers with them. They pulled down his pants, and they found a tree stub. They pulled down his pants, and they nailed his junk to the tree stump, and then they set fire. Then they set fire to the tree stump. And they also left him a knife. They left him a knife on the side, so he had his junk nailed to the tree stump that was now on fire. But they also left him a knife on the side.
Whoa! Okay then. Well, I mean, guaranteed. That is what you call corporal punishment. I mean, if you spread that message out far and wide, they're not. People are going to get the message, I guess.
I'm actually going to have to agree with that kind of. I think that's quite a good punishment, to be honest. Bring back punishment and bring back traditional dress sense as well. And I think we have solved the problem quite efficiently.
I think we should just bring back common sense, Peter. I mean, I don't see an epidemic of misogynistic behaviour to justify this kind of law coming out. To me, it's almost like a demonisation again. You kind of curtailing people, you're curtailing the speech, you're curtailing the actions, and people now, what have they got to do? They've got to look down, stick their hands in the pockets, and not address anyone now, because that's the only way now that you can actually walk through society and not be classed as this or that, or not be accused of this and that. And that's the way we're going. No one can express themselves anymore, and it's just a shame. It's a shame that the governments, the elites, are bringing in all these powers against the people, whereas these people, these very policemen, let's put it like that want to bring in these laws and that are now talking to other constabularies around the country to see how they feel. Imagine they've got a Christmas do. Do you think any of them would entertain a stripper? Do you think any of them, when they've got a waitress that comes in that's got a lovely curves about her, they're not going to look at her and go, "Oh, you know"? Now, is that not misogynistic? So it's you've got to be careful when you instill these laws. You know, you can't profess it on the people, but yet you can do what you want. You know.
And what about women that talk about men then? Do you think that ever happens?
Exactly.
I mean, I saw there was actually in a Swedish school, there was actually they asked the students what they wanted from a girl, and then they asked the girls what they wanted from a man. Now the boys, they're actually not too bad, this younger generation. I have it written down somewhere. They wanted I mean, obviously on the appearance side, they wanted, you know, big butts, breasts, whatever. But on the personal side, they wanted the woman to be a good housewife. They wanted her to be friendly, and they wanted her to like memes. They wanted her to, you know, all of this very interesting stuff. You know, they wanted her to be, you know, like a good housewife, like traditional stuff. And she mustn't be a Taliban feminist. Did not want her to be a Taliban feminist. That's the thing that I listed. But then looked at the girls' list of the men. They wanted, you know, big penis, big, you know, nice butt. I mean, just like.
Yeah, exactly. So you'll find it on both sides. You really will, because it's nature, you know, and they're trying to curtail nature now, you know. Try telling that to two animals, you can't do this, you can't do that. They're still going to jump on each other and start going for it. It's just the way it is. But there is an etiquette. Now, we need to bring back that etiquette more. Yeah, I appreciate that. But you can't stop the very act itself. You know, we've got issues. Obviously, we've got rape issues. We've got rape on both sides. You know, men get raped, women get raped. I'm not saying who gets raped more, because it's not really a contest. I'm saying it does happen both ways. So we've got to be rational when you're actually bringing in and trying to enforce these laws. Otherwise, it's dangerous ground. Really is.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's... by the way, I got an interesting comment here in the live chat. A guy says that I should be careful. Phil is an MI5 agent.
Oh,
any
right.
comments on that?
MI5 agent, right? Well, that's good, because I don't know about that. I mean, I normally paint walls for a living, so unless I've got a covert roller within my possession, then, you know, you'd have to be very careful around me, I guess. Other than that, I have no idea what my friend is talking about.
I don't know, maybe, do you have a special assassination paintbrush in your pocket?
I think I have, yes. I'm ready to paint. Yeah, I'm always ready to paint. Yeah, I have no idea where that comment comes from. But, you know, we are, I think...
loads of trolls out there.
In this country, at this moment in time, mate, the right is getting demonized, and there is a lot of paranoia within the right. Now, we spoke about a particular program that come out not so long back, where a certain lady infiltrated the right-wing movements for 6 months. And this program come out, and to be fair...
Did you see the program?
Yes.
I didn't get to see it. What was... we talked about that before. What's...
Yeah. There was a lot of conflating. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was almost laughable. Most people seen right through it, particularly people on the right. I think we kind of... When we spoke about it beforehand, I was not worried, because I'm not worried in my own actions, because I know I'm kind of clean and pure and my message is straight. But other people that were around me were more worried about what they might have said, the conversations they said. But when the actual program got aired, there was a lot of conflating visuals that were put together to make it look a certain way. Certain people were talking, and then the next picture they would see a far right, you know, NF or whatever kind of flag being flown, when that person wasn't even at that march. But to the layman, it looks like they're representative of all that. So there was a little bit of that going on, you know, some funky editing. So there's a heightened paranoia, and I don't think that's going to stop, because I think the left are determined to kind of bring the right down and demonize them in any way they can. Now, whether that person is actually joking or whether that person actually thinks that I am an MI5 agent. He's actually paid me a compliment because I am a self-employed working class painter and decorator. I live in just outside of Manchester, and I have no affiliation with any security force, any kind of secret agent. Honestly, he's paid me a bigger compliment.
It's a bit suspicious. You actually, when we saw first, you actually had this strip above your camera when you first logged in. You had the strip on your laptop.
Yes, because we do know that webcams are
Zuckerberg, the guy from Facebook, he actually has stickers on his laptop as well.
Yeah, and it was the reason why I do it is because you never know. You never know when your camera's open.
I used to have it myself before as well. And anyway,
as soon as I finish this stream, I'll be putting the tape right back on there, mate. You know.
But the only problem, you have to put the tape on your phone as well because they got cameras too.
Yes, and they've got microphones which can be switched on. You know, which people don't realise.
They're obviously sending stuff back to Google and to America. I mean, they're obviously doing it, sending recordings and pictures and everything.
Yeah.
It was actually, I read the Norwegian army just bought a load of new F-35 fighter jets from America. But they actually found out, that was just recently, they actually found out that these fighter jets were sending over secret military information over to Lockheed Martin, the maker of the jet over in America. So this airplane, it has to be strange. This airplane all of a sudden gets an idea it's just going to send these secret documents over to America. That's a bit strange.
It happens all the time. I mean, Google were caught when they were doing the Street View, you know, when they were going around in the little smart cars. They were, they said unwittingly grabbing data from people's houses, the routers as they were passing. I mean, Vault 7, that actually come out.
They actually said even if you have location in Android phones, even if you have location turned off, they still send. It was just recently revealed. They still send your location to Google. So you have a Samsung or something, they still will send your location info to Google, even if you have turned it off. That was recently discovered, so that's a bit strange.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the Samsung. They come out with the smart TVs.
Yeah,
that they actually, because they're never switched off because they go off voice command, unless you actually go into the settings, that they're always listening. And it actually said in the documentation that, you know, be careful what you say because this information is going to be sent to third, fourth, fifth parties. You know, so it's like we are living in 1984 Orwellian world. So although people think covering your camera, that's a bit paranoid, there's every reason why you should do it, really.
I mean, the thing is, I mean, just imagine in like 10 years in the UK, like you say something homophobic or something in your kitchen table, and all of a sudden, you know, you get up a message, sorry, you can't open the fridge, it's locked now because your homophobic comment. The police will be arriving soon.
Yeah. That's for me the worry of everyone is now being told and encouraging the Internet of Things. Everything in your house almost is internet based and whatnot.
Yeah, that's just stupid.
It is in a way because you don't know, you know, all these details, everything, your patterns, what you're doing, the watch that you're wearing that's attached to your phone, is attached to the whole data.
I'm having some difficulties here again with your sound. It sounds like someone's put some kind of modulation on your voice.
Okay. Is it okay? Is it gone better now?
No, it's still making noise.
Right.
Is it been hacked again?
Does that not prove the point?
No, it's better. No, it's better.
Right. Well, that's good. I'm starting to get worried now, mate. Do we need to put the tape back over my camera? See, it is worrying. It is worrying how it seems to happen, you know. Some people may call it a coincidence, but call me paranoid, but does that mean it's not happening, you know?
No, it's a bit strange. No, by the way, I just want to give a shout out here to Edged, who donated $2 Brazilian, I think it is. Big thank you to you. Really means a lot. It really helps keep me doing these videos. So thank you so much for that. And if anyone wants to use the super chat, all super chat comments will be read. So if you have any questions for Phil or for me, or any comments you want to be read out loud on air, use the super chat, and I will read every single super chat. So excellent. So let's move on then. I think, is there anything else you want to mention, or shall we move on to the next topic, Phil?
No, move on, mate. I'll go with your guidance.
Yeah, I think, shall we go into the Anne-Marie Waters one, perhaps?
Okay, mate, that's fine. Yeah.
So I just want to, as people probably know, me and Anne-Marie Waters haven't been the best of friends. But yeah, it was a bit interesting because she was on Twitter here the other day, and she condemned. She was actually having a photo shoot with Gavin McInnes and Ann Coulter, but she declined, and she went on to Twitter to say that she wouldn't be doing this because she saw them as, and she literally said she saw Gavin and Coulter as enemies because she thought they were misogynistic or sexist or whatever. Because Ann Coulter and McGavin has suggested that women shouldn't vote, so that's something she doesn't like at all. And then she lost lots of followers over that on Twitter because of, I've been trying. I knew this for quite a while that she hated Gavin McInnes. I've known this for quite a while, but she said it herself. I mean, we had this big row where you were there before, and then when you left, we had this dinner. And we had this big row. She was upset at me because I disliked feminism, and she was shouting in the restaurant, and it's just a big mess. And then she has been saying some not so nice things about me on the internet. I mean, what do you think? I mean, you have had quite a bit. I think you met Anne-Marie.
I've never personally spoke to her, Peter.
Okay.
I've seen her many times. I've been up close, like you say. I've been sat in the same room. I've been on marches when she's been literally 5 yards away from me, but we've never actually spoke. So in terms of that, she comes across as a decent lady. However, I do feel she probably has a bit more left-leaning in her views. With this particular incident, I've listened to the audio, and I've got to say, I think she's overreacting. I think she's took it very seriously, when I think what has just happened between Ann Coulter and Gavin McInnes was probably a bit of banter. Like we've just had banter about the Victorian, this and the other. People could do exactly the same thing there. They could take that strip of audio and they could make us out to be, you know, whatever they want from that piece of audio, when in reality, when it's put into context, it was just two people stretching their sense of humor. We could go a lot further than that, you know, because sense of humors do that. It's a way, it's a coping strategy. It's a way of getting over severe issues. People do it. People have jokes about severe deaths, you know. People, it's a way of getting over things. I'm not saying I agree with it all the time. Sometimes things are done in bad taste. Sometimes you've got to be careful on what you say. However, with the conversation that these two had, firstly, I think what Ann Coulter was saying, I think she was referring to her dad's beliefs, her father's beliefs. I don't think she was referring to her own personal feelings, personally. And secondly, I do think it was just a bit of a joke that they were kind of stretching out a little bit, and people have took it, or Anne-Marie has took it a little bit seriously, and maybe got on her high horse a little bit. And I think people have seen through that.
I think it's a bit stupid to attack, attack other people. You know, people on. If you are a right winger or a patriot, you shouldn't really attack other people on the same team. I think that's quite stupid.
Yes, it's the crab in the bucket theory, mate. It really is.
It shouldn't be infighting. That's a big reason. You never see the left infighting. That's a big reason why they win.
Well, there's so many extremes in the left, but they, like you say, they never do the fighting. They kind of stick together and just kind of let the message go out, because regardless of whether I agree with you, the enemy's still over there. So there's no point in me kind of having a piece of you. Whereas I found that myself, the right has got this tendency to kind of, pull at this, pull at that, you know, and you're not doing yourself any favors. I mean, with me kind of coming out, I'm not right wing, I'm not conservative. I regard myself as a libertarian. So I'm coming at both sides. I can see a liberal side in some issues. I can see a right-wing side in some issues. So when I talk, I try and talk straight down the middle and appreciate it in a balanced way. Sometimes it may not come across that way. It's not easy. Semantically, it's not easy to try and be truthful and semantical all the way along. Sometimes you're going to deviate, and by deviating, you've maybe put your point across in a different way that someone might interpret in a different way. It's so difficult to do, you know. But the last thing you should do is kind of just overreact to things. And I think that's why she's lost some viewers, some Twitters, or, you know, however you call it, because people have gone, you know what, there was no need for you to kind of do that. You've kind of just overreacted. And, you know, if you're going to do that. If
they have a beef, they should do it in private, not in public.
Yes, yeah, I'm a firm believer of that too.
That's what she did with me. She started talking about that publicly. She should have kept that private, and she should have kept this private too. But I mean, I think you're right when you say that she's more left. I think Anne-Marie Watts is quite left-wing, but she is anti-Islam, basically. That's my opinion of her.
I mean, she started up a new party. I don't know too much about it.
I have something that they actually got rejected by the Electoral Commission. I'm not sure if that's correct or not.
Right. I couldn't say. I really couldn't say. To be honest, I think at this moment in time, politically speaking, her party, wherever it is at this moment in time, is probably the biggest chance we've got of making any waves. But at the same time, I'm a firm believer that the left-right paradigm is all a facade. For me personally, yeah, I think it's their polls to kind of, you know, give you the conception that you've got, you know.
You are a bit right there. I mean, the way I see it, the left has basically taken over both the right and the left. So it's just, they're just the same, basically, more or less. You have to look outside the box.
I mean, I'm not pessimistic by any means, but I do feel with what happened to Anne-Marie Waters with UKIP, that sent a strong signal out that no matter how well she does in any party, because of her rhetoric, I don't think that she will ever be a major party with a major voice. Now, I'm not condemning her, because I wish her the best of luck, because she is the closest to what we've got to the average person, you know, speaking for the average person in terms of what's going on in terms of radical Islam. So I do wish her the best of luck, but I just can't see it.
I wonder why doesn't Tommy Robinson go into politics? He would be popular, I think.
Well, yeah, it's same. I think the same point. You know, he's branded. And in this country, as you know, mate, once you're branded, mud sticks, and the left keep making sure that that mud won't come off. It still sticks. And they'll keep using that against you. Even if you're speaking true common sense, you could come out dressed as Santa Claus, Father Christmas, and you could give out all presents to, you know, every minority in the country, but you'll still be demonized. They'll still twist it. They'll still find a way of doing it. You know, if you're not the party in favour in terms of how they want you to be, then they'll find a way of, you know, slandering you. And it's hot. It's really bad. I mean, I just don't get politics. It's people just pull each other down all the time. People are corrupt to a certain degree. People are corrupted. And I find that what I've seen, as we all know, no matter what party you get, it doesn't matter how high you get, at some point, they change the rhetoric. They go back on what they actually started off with. So once you've seen that a few times, it totally disillusions you.
It always happens. I don't know why. It's really strange. I mean, yeah.
It's bought and paid in some way, you know. There's so many reasons why. Some of them might have little skeletons in the closet, and that's used against them to kind of toe the line. Some people need contributions. That's used against them to toe the line. Some people are dangled the carrot. Well, if you do this, you will get here. And then that's. I'm not saying, you know, but I'm saying that all of them issues are used in politics. It is a dirty business. I don't think anyone is really totally clean and comes through unless, and I'm not even saying Donald Trump is totally clean, but the fact that he's his own man, the fact that he's got his own money, I think that paved the way to say, I'm kind of uncorruptible. So I'm going to push through my agenda regardless. And I think the media has kind of gone, we can't control him, so all we can do is victimize.
That's why I hate them. He's a wild guy that cannot control.
Yeah, exactly.
So they just resort to writing an article about him drinking 12 cans of Coke.
Wow. Wow.
But I mean, Trump did fulfill his election promise about the Jerusalem thing, making Jerusalem the capital of Israel. And that has caused some major things happening in Sweden. Sweden has imported a lot of Palestinians. You import Palestinians too much, you become Palestine. And what happens then? Well, they go bananas if something like this happens, like Trump did with Jerusalem. So they have been having so many protests, it's unbelievable. Down in Malmö on Friday evening, on Friday they were marching around. I think it was like 200 of them marching around, calling for another intifada, and they were shouting, quote, "Shoot the Jews," unquote. And they were then on Saturday having more protests in Stockholm. They burned the Israeli flag. And then on Saturday evening, a gang of 10 masked youths, which is the usual trademark term for migrant gangs. They firebombed the synagogue in Gothenburg with petrol bombs. So that they're having some kind of party, the youths there in the synagogue, when these guys turned up and started attacking them with petrol bombs. And, I actually had a displeasure coming face to face with these guys in Gothenburg a couple of months ago when I was there reporting on some protests. I talked about this before. They joined up with Antifa, surprise, surprise, and they were using a sling to throw rocks at the police. And in one instance, the rock even flew right over my head, and they threatened my colleague as well. So, I mean, it might very well have been the same guys that did the attack in Gothenburg on the synagogue yesterday. But anyways, these guys, and that guy actually was a member of a terrorist group in Somalia before he applied for asylum in Sweden. He was that guy actually in Gothenburg, the one that I had at this special meeting. He actually was supposed to be deported from Sweden a couple of months before, but then he claimed to be under 18. So then he got to stay anyway. And then now we have these guys basically doing a terror attack against a synagogue. There's been loads of anti-Jewish attacks in Sweden the last few days, which is insane when you think of it. These politicians, but it's not a big surprise, because if you don't know of it, the Swedish government and the journalists, the politicians, they're very far left. And historically, they have always been very much against Israel. They have always had a big displeasure for Israel. So much so that the Swedish, foreign minister, some Swedish minister is actually on Simon Wiesenthal's list of anti-Semitic people. So they have some, and this is actually from the Swedish. I'm not a fan. I believe in free speech. I'm not a fan of those kind of lists, but it kind of goes to show a little bit. It's been the far left politicians and journalists in Sweden are very infamous for always disliking Israel a lot. They've always been big fans of Palestine. So much so that I think it was Sweden or some other country that actually officially recognized Palestine as a country, much to the big displeasure of Israel. So, I mean, these same people that are big, the government, they love these Palestine people, and they import them en masse to Sweden. And then you basically get the same problems in Sweden as you have over there in the Middle East. I mean, that's what happens. So they have been, the Swedish government, and they've been so afraid of Nazis and people voting, criticizing mass migration online on Facebook, and, taking them to court and fining them. I think maybe in prison for some people as well for hate speech. But then they have actual people committing actual hate crimes on the street because of the people they import and because of their policy of mass migration. What do you think?
Wow. With the Jerusalem and Palestine, mate, it is such a complex issue that it's hard to decipher when you've not been to any of the places. And I'm not about to say I've got my finger on the pulse of what's going on, because I haven't. I can see the anger from both sides, although I can see which one is probably acting with less tolerance than the other one. You can see with Palestine, well, look at what's gone on. I mean, it's actual fact that what Donald Trump has done, previous presidents have wanted to do, and it's been brought up for probably decades, but none of them have had the balls to actually do it. Now, they've probably done that thinking that they were doing the right thing and thinking that, well, if we don't do it, it'll keep the peace. That's not happened. There's been nothing but instability, you know? So I don't know whether Donald Trump thought, well, you know what, I'm going to try something new. But in reality, Jerusalem, whether Palestine wants to recognize it or not, is the capital of Israel. So by nature, you know, embassies are in the capital. You know, you've got embassies in London. You don't have too many embassies in Manchester or Birmingham or anywhere else in cities, because it's not logical to do that. Now, for him to move it, it obviously means that he's going to upset certain people, but the way to deal with it is to deal with it politically, not to spit your dummy out, not to start threatening people all around the world, not to start burning synagogues, and not to start demonizing Jewish people, because that is not showing you as a decent, honourable person. That's showing you as a terrorist. Now, they might have every reason to be angry with Jerusalem over occupied lands and this, that, and the other over the years, but you do it politically. That's what everyone else should be doing, you know? And even though I don't really believe in politics, you've still got to do it politically. Otherwise, you've got anarchy all over the world. You know, I might not agree with you, Peter, but it doesn't mean I'm going to pick up arms and come and find you and threaten all your kids or, you know, whatever, just because I disagree with your political views. It's not the way forward. Now, when I've seen, on both sides, I've seen a guess where you've got Jewish people that have got a dislike for Palestine because what Palestine's done, but then I've seen Palestinians where they indoctrinate their kids to have so much of a hatred towards Jerusalem. So it is such a complex issue that I have to stand back somewhat, and I can't come across as an authoritative figure on it, because I'm not. But I do think what Donald Trump has done, I'm hoping it's for the best. But I think if Obama would have done this, I think they would have lauded it. You know, bearing in mind this man got a peace prize, Nobel Peace Prize, for literally putting on his suit. You know, he never done anything, and then all of a sudden he got this peace prize, and then, you
know, these peace prize guys, they're actually not in Norway here in Oslo. They actually gave, you know, Yasser Arafat. They actually gave him the peace prize as well.
Right. See, you know, so you've kind of sullied what should be, you know, a merit given to someone for actually achieving something. Now, when you're prescribing war on other people because you don't agree with their politics, do you get a peace prize for that? You know, you shouldn't. Now, I don't think Donald Trump is trying to rub people up the wrong way. I'd like to think he's trying to do the right thing, but I think the common sense thing is, you know what? The capital's not Tel Aviv, the capital is Jerusalem, so we're going to move this there. Now, people's reaction, just like, I'm not putting Anne-Marie Waters with Palestine by any means, but what I'm saying is it's an overreaction. And when you overreact, you show your colours, you know?
It's kind of interesting to see what kind of people are against the Jerusalem move. You know, you have the Islamist Turkish president guy, you have all of the radical Islamists, you have the mainstream media, you have all the leftists, you have all the liberals, you have the Pope as well. Basically, you have all bad people opposing the Jerusalem thing. So it kind of tells me it's probably a good move.
Well, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, they're all one and the same, aren't they? You know, they're all in the same club, as it were. And their actions and their words over the past couple of years have shown that. I think now the people know who their enemies are. I think that's the thing. Politically, they've all had to come out and show themselves, whereas maybe years previous, they've been a little bit slicker with the words, with the rhetoric, and they've been able to get certain things done by not showing the colours. But people are waking up now, you know, and it's forcing people to be more political and be more aware of the situation. So I can imagine you're going to get more and more of these attacks. Now, obviously, the media is going to demonize Trump for it, whereas if the media was a true media and not deceitful in its words, they will be trying to bring peace with this. They will be trying to use that media to go, okay, Donald Trump's done this. The reason why he wants to do this, but no, they're stand straight away. Oh, no, he's breeding hate. Oh, look, he's going to cause this over there. Oh, no, he's going to cause that over there. And they're kind of overlooking what the actual offences are. So then they're validating what the Palestinians are going to do. And then when they do it, they go, look, it's Trump's fault. Never mind the geezers.
Oh yeah, they're definitely. I mean, they're blaming Trump all of this. I mean,
yeah.
By the way, I just want to give a big shout out here to Pegasus World, who donated Norwegian money here as well. So thank you so much for that. All the super chats will be read. So if you have any questions for Phil or me, use the super chat and they will be read, guys. Yeah, I mean, that's the interesting thing. That I mean, they're all stumbling over to blame Trump. Yeah, it's all Trump's fault. You know, I actually saw this very funny thing in the Swedish media. They're so biased. It's unbelievable. After this Jerusalem thing, these Hamas guys in Palestine, in Gaza, they were shooting rockets into Israel.
Wow.
And Israel responded by bombing them back.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what the headline is on the Swedish state-owned media?
Oh, Jerusalem's the bad guy. It'll be something along them lines. Or Trump.
Israel bombs Palestine.
Yeah.
Is the headline.
You know.
But I forget to mention that it was actually Hamas who sent over some rockets first.
I know.
That's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. Just ignore that.
And that's our fair, unbiased media that we're talking about, you know. Now, if anyone should lose viewerships, it should be people like that, for when they're constantly telling mistruths and trying to steer a narrative towards their agenda, rather than just being open, present the facts, and try and... haven't they got a responsibility to bring peace in the world, just like Donald Trump? Because their medium is just as important as what Donald Trump's doing, you know? So if they're just as much terrorists, and it's right what people say, you know, CNN are worse than ISIS and all this, that and the other, because their words and their rhetoric is just as bad, because they are sowing the seeds in people's mind and validating people like Palestine and giving them a pass to do these kind of things without calling them out on it. If you're going to call Trump out, then call these guys out.
Yeah, they like them. It seems the communists, for whatever reason, they really love Palestine. I mean, it's been like that historically, and yeah, it's
not going to change.
Yeah, no, it's part of their ideology.
Yeah.
And as we know, many of the journalists are communists themselves. So
I mean, I'm surprised Coca-Cola or Pepsi has not come out and disavowed Donald Trump for drinking their drink. You know what I mean? It's that crazy now.
Yeah, no.
He's such a bad guy. I mean, the only thing I'd say, if he's drinking Diet Coke, watch that aspartame, Mr. Trump, because it ain't good for you. I've read a lot up on that stuff, and it is not good for the system.
Aspartame is not good. Sugar is better.
Exactly. You better have it full fat.
Yeah, no, that's aspartame is actually the poop from bacteria, and it's not good at all. It's actually really bad stuff. So yeah, no, I wouldn't recommend drinking aspartame either.
Exactly, and you've got to thank our friend Mr. Donald Roosevelt for that. And he was the one who lobbied that in the past, wasn't it?
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Every time I eat too much aspartame, I have to go in the toilet too much. It's like eating curry.
Oh, mate. I had a curry last night, in fact, so if I have to leave very quickly, then I hope you'll pardon me, okay?
Oh, no. We have curry shops. Well, I have to hope there isn't any strange stuff in there.
Yes, without a doubt. And I can testify to that, but we won't go into too many details. For the sake of your viewers. It's not going to be printed.
Excellent. I think we've been going about an hour now, and I think I've covered topics I want to speak. Is there anything else you want to add before we wrap this up?
Not at all, mate. I'm not at all. Just it's been a pleasure to catch up with you again, as always. It's been a while, and I know we've been trying to hook up over the previous weeks, and for whatever reason, it's not happened. So I'm glad it's actually finally got back together again. When it happens again, who knows? But you know me, I'm always open. If I can make it, I will be here. And thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, excellent. Yeah, I think we'll wrap this up then because we're going for an hour, and we had quite a lot of viewers today as well. So excellent. Yeah, no, thank you so much for watching, guys. Remember to like this video and go and subscribe to Phil on his channel as well. He's got his own channel. I'll leave the links as well so you can find him. So make sure to subscribe to him as well, and subscribe to me if you haven't done so either. And thank you so much for watching, guys. And tune in later. I'll actually be uploading another video later tonight from my channel. So stay tuned, guys, and we'll see you soon.